Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of the gig economy. We're going to be unpacking this really insightful article called Navigating the Gig Economy: Strategies, Best Practices, and Tools for Generating Side Income.
It's a fantastic read.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
whether our listeners are looking for a little extra cash, more flexibility, or even a complete career makeover, I think this deep dive is going to offer some serious insights for anyone looking to ride the wave of this whole gig economy thing.
Definitely.
So let's get right to it. What exactly are we hoping to uncover in this deep dive? I guess what I'm really asking is, what's driving this shift towards gig work?
Yeah.
What are some of the hottest side hustles right now? What are the biggest pitfalls to avoid? And most importantly, how can our listeners set themselves up for success in this new world of work?
Yeah, that's what we're here to break down. It's fascinating how, this whole shift towards gig work is reshaping the very definition of a career.
Really, how so?
I mean, technology is like the engine behind this change, right?
Mhm.
Especially with platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. They're completely transforming freelancing. And then you've got Airbnb, which is like revolutionizing how we think about lodging.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They call it the gig economy,
Yeah.
right? But but it's not just about playing a few gigs here and there anymore, is it? It's like becoming a legitimate career path for so many people.
You're absolutely right. And the article, it really highlights this evolution. It's not just about like a side hustle for a little extra cash anymore. It's about like a fundamental shift in how people approach work altogether.
So for someone who's like, I don't know, looking to break free from that traditional 9 to 5 grind, what are the key things they need to know? Like, where do they even start?
This article actually provides a great roadmap, I think. It dives into, strategies for success, the potential pitfalls, and even tools to help you kind of manage and scale your ventures. But before we jump into like the how-to, let's take a closer look at like what's driving this whole gig economy movement.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that a little bit.
Yeah.
What's fueling this shift? Is it just the allure of being your own boss, or are there kind of deeper forces at play here?
Well, the autonomy is definitely a major draw, right? I mean, imagine like setting your own hours, choosing projects that actually resonate with you, and having more control over like your income. It's no surprise that this appeals to a lot of people, especially those feeling kind of stifled by, traditional employment.
I can definitely see the appeal.
Yeah.
But I imagine there's kind of a flip side to all this freedom, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges people should be prepared for?
You hit the nail on the head. While the gig economy definitely offers a ton of flexibility and potential, it also demands like self-discipline and resilience, and even like a different approach to financial management. You're responsible for managing inconsistent income, finding your own health insurance, and even like planning for retirement.
That makes sense. It's not just a free-for-all, right? It's about taking ownership of your career path. But for someone who's ready to embrace those challenges, like what are some of the hottest side hustles right now? What are people doing out there?
Instead of chasing like trends, the article really emphasizes choosing a side hustle that aligns with your existing skills and interests and resources, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
example, if you're like a wordsmith, freelancing platforms like Upwork or Fiverr could be a really good fit.
Right. But those platforms are pretty saturated with talent, aren't they?
Mm.
What does the article say about like actually standing out in a crowded marketplace like that?
It highlights the importance of like a stellar portfolio, right? Think of it as your shop window. It needs to showcase your best work, clearly articulate your skills and resonate with your target clients.
So it's not just about having a profile, it's about like strategic self-presentation, right?
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about someone who's, not necessarily a tech whiz? Are there options for people who prefer a more, I don't know, hands-on approach?
Absolutely. If you've got a car and enjoy being on the move, ride sharing and delivery services through platforms like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, or Instacart can provide like a really flexible way to earn.
That's true. I've heard those can be pretty lucrative, especially in like busy cities.
Right.
But I imagine there are downsides as well. What does the article say about that?
It cautions about like the wear and tear on your vehicle,
Mm.
fluctuating demand, and the need to factor in expenses like gas and insurance. It's not just about the income you generate, it's about the net profit after expenses.
Okay, so there's definitely a need to crunch the numbers and make sure it, makes financial sense. I'm curious about the whole passive income thing. Is that a realistic option in the gig economy? Can you really make money without, like, actively working?
The article dives into renting assets, like using Airbnb for a spare room or even like your whole place, or Turo for renting out your car. It can be a great way to generate income without, actively working, but it's not entirely passive.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, well, you're still responsible for, managing the listings, communicating with guests, ensuring the property is well maintained, and dealing with any issues that might arise. It definitely requires effort, but the income potential can be, significant.
So it's passive in the sense that you're not actively trading your time for money, but it still requires work on the back end.
Exactly.
That's a good distinction to make.
Hmm.
Speaking of trading time for money, I've always been curious about e-commerce. Is that a viable path in the gig economy? Can you really build a business online?
E-commerce is booming, and the article points to platforms like Etsy, Amazon FBA, and Shopify as like really popular options. But it also emphasizes the importance of, finding a niche, offering high-quality products, and creating effective marketing strategies to stand out in a crowded marketplace.
That makes sense. With so many people selling online, it's crucial to have like a unique selling proposition and a strong brand identity. I know a lot of people are drawn to the idea of monetizing their passions through content creation. Does the article touch on that at all? Is that a realistic path?
Yes, it does. Content creation is a growing segment of the gig economy. Platforms like YouTube, blogging platforms, and even podcasting offer the potential to reach like a huge audience and generate income.
But I imagine it takes a lot of work to, build a following and actually start earning money. Does the article offer any insights on that? Like, what does it take to make it as a content creator?
It emphasizes the importance of consistency, high quality content and engaging with your audience. It's not a get rich quick scheme, but it can be incredibly rewarding for those who are, passionate and persistent.
So it's about more than just creating content. It's about building a community and nurturing those relationships.
Exactly. That's a key takeaway from this section of the article.
I'm curious about some of the other options out there. Are there any side hustles that might surprise people? Like, what are some of the less obvious ways to make money in the gig economy?
Well, the article mentions microtasks and online surveys, but it cautions about low pay and the time investment required. It also talks about affiliate marketing, which involves earning commissions by promoting other people's products.
I've heard about that, but I'm not entirely sure how it works. Can you elaborate on that a bit? Like, how do you actually make money through affiliate marketing?
Sure. So imagine you have a blog or a social media following in a specific niche, like fitness or travel. You could partner with companies that sell products related to your niche and earn a commission for every sale you generate through your unique referral link.
So it's like being an influencer, but focusing on driving sales rather than just brand awareness.
Exactly.
That's pretty interesting.
In the article, it emphasizes the importance of transparency and authenticity in affiliate marketing.
Mhm.
It's about recommending products you genuinely believe in and providing value to your audience.
Okay, so we've covered a whole range of side hustle options from freelancing to ride sharing, renting assets, e-commerce, content creation,
Mm.
even affiliate marketing. What's next? Where do we go from here?
Now that we've, kind of explored some of the possibilities, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the strategic side of thriving in the gig economy. I mean, it's one thing to kind of dip your toes in, right? But it's another thing entirely to make it like a sustainable and successful venture.
Right. Anyone can, sign up for a platform or start a blog. But what separates those who just dabble from those who truly excel? Like, what are we talking about here?
This article, it dives into that very question. It lays out a kind of a roadmap for success, starting with the importance of setting SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It's not enough to just say, I want to make more money. You need to define exactly what that looks like, how you'll measure progress, and what steps you'll take to get there.
So it's about having like a clear vision and a plan of attack, right?
Exactly.
That makes sense. But I imagine it's easy to get overwhelmed when you're juggling a side hustle with,
Yeah.
other commitments. How do you suggest people manage their time effectively? Like, are there any tips or tricks for making it all work?
The article emphasizes the importance of, treating your side hustle like a business, even if it starts as just like a passion project. That means setting dedicated work hours, creating a schedule, and sticking to it as much as possible.
I can see how that would be crucial. especially when you're, dealing with deadlines and client expectations. But even with the best intentions, I imagine things can slip through the cracks. Are there any tools or techniques that can help with staying organized? Like, how do you keep it all straight?
Absolutely. The article mentions project management tools like Trello and Asana. These platforms allow you to create like visual boards, to-do lists, and even project timelines to kind of keep everything on track. You can set reminders, assign tasks, and even collaborate with clients or team members all in like one central hub.
That sounds incredibly helpful. It's like having a virtual assistant keeping you accountable and organized.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about the financial side of things? That always feels daunting to me, especially when you're, dealing with unpredictable income. How do you suggest people manage all of that?
The article really stresses the importance of meticulous financial management. It's not just about making money, it's about managing it effectively. That means tracking every dollar that comes in and goes out, separating business expenses from personal expenses, and setting aside money for taxes.
Okay, so no more commingling funds or scuffing receipts in a shoebox.
Exactly. And digital tools have really revolutionized financial management. Software like QuickBooks or FreshBooks can automate a lot of these tasks, making it way easier to track income, expenses, and generate financial reports.
That's good to know. Those tools seem like a game changer for anyone who's not a natural number cruncher.
Yeah.
But what about those lean periods? When income might be lower than expected. How do you suggest people navigate those financial ebbs and flows?
Building an emergency fund is crucial. Aim to have at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved up to kind of cushion yourself against those inevitable dips in income. It's also wise to set aside a portion of each payment for taxes so you're not, caught off guard come tax season.
That's excellent advice. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of earning money and forget about those future obligations. Speaking of obligations, what about contracts and legalities? Is that something people need to worry about in the gig economy, or is it all just kind of, handshake agreements and good faith?
Absolutely. The article highlights the importance of having clear written agreements in place with clients, even if it feels a bit formal at first. Contracts protect both parties by outlining the scope of work, the deadlines, payment terms, and any other key details. It helps prevent misunderstandings and disputes down the line.
So it's not just about trust and good intentions. It's about having those agreements in writing to avoid, potential headaches later on.
Precisely. And the article even mentions specific clauses freelancers should include in their contracts, things like late payment penalties and intellectual property rights.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought about that. It's clear that the gig economy requires a different level of business savvy than traditional employment. Are there any other legal or ethical considerations that people should be aware of?
The article touches on the importance of, understanding and complying with tax regulations. It's crucial to keep accurate records, file your taxes on time, and seek professional advice if needed.
That's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy to forget about those things when you're, working independently. What about intellectual property? How do you protect your work in the gig economy?
The article emphasizes the importance of, clearly defining ownership rights in your contracts. You can also use tools like watermarks and copyright notices to deter unauthorized use of your work. But it also stresses that sometimes it's more about, focusing on consistently creating new and valuable content rather than obsessing over protecting every single piece.
That makes sense. It's about staying ahead of the curve and constantly innovating. What are some other potential pitfalls that people should be aware of in the gig economy? Like, what are some of the common mistakes that people make?
One that's often overlooked is the trap of underpricing your services. It's tempting to kind of lowball your rates to attract clients, especially when you're, starting out. But the article really warns against this.
Wait, why is that a bad thing? I thought being competitive on price would help you land more clients.
It might in the short term, but it can backfire in the long run. Underpricing devalues your skills and your expertise. It makes it harder to raise your rates later on. And it can even attract clients who are more focused on price than quality.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between being competitive and valuing your worth.
Exactly.
How how do you suggest people figure out what a fair rate is? Like, where do they even start?
Research is key. Look at what other professionals with similar skills and experience are charging in your industry. There are also websites and online communities dedicated to helping freelancers and gig workers kind of determine their worth.
Right. It's about knowing your value and positioning yourself accordingly. What about the emotional and psychological aspects of working in the gig economy? It seems like it could be, quite isolating at times. Like, how do you deal with that?
That's a valid concern. The article emphasizes the importance of building a support network. Connect with other gig workers or entrepreneurs, whether online or in person. Share experiences, learn from each other, and offer support and encouragement.
I love that idea. It's like having a virtual water cooler where you can, bounce ideas off each other and celebrate wins together.
Exactly. And it's not just about like emotional support, right? These connections can lead to collaborations, referrals, and even new opportunities.
So networking is still crucial, even in the digital world of the gig economy.
Yeah.
What about burnout? I imagine it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of yourself. How do you prevent that?
You're right. The article stresses the importance of setting boundaries, scheduling downtime, and prioritizing self-care. It's not sustainable to work around the clock. You need to recharge and replenish your energy to avoid, burning out.
So it's about finding that balance between hustle and rest,
Yes.
right? That makes sense. What about staying ahead of the curve? I mean, the gig economy is constantly evolving. How do you suggest people stay relevant and competitive in this dynamic landscape?
Continuous learning is key. The article emphasizes the importance of investing in professional development, attending workshops, reading industry publications, and constantly upgrading your skills.
So it's not just about what you know now. It's about being a lifelong learner and adapting to the ever-changing demands of the market.
Exactly. The gig economy rewards those who are adaptable, resourceful, and constantly seeking to improve their craft.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about strategies, tools, potential pitfalls, and even the emotional and psychological aspects of navigating the gig economy. It's clear that there's a lot to consider. But for someone who's, made it past those initial hurdles and has a successful side hustle going, what's next? How do they take things to the next level? That's the perfect question to tackle in this final part of our deep dive. We've talked about the foundations of the gig economy, the strategies for success, and the potential pitfalls. Now let's explore how to actually scale your side hustle into something bigger, something more impactful.
This article, it dives into the tools and processes that can help you kind of level up your gig economy ventures. It's about moving beyond just, trading time for money and building a system that works for you.
Okay, I'm ready to upgrade my side hustle game. Where do we start?
The article emphasizes the importance of leveraging technology to streamline your operations and free up your time for more strategic tasks.
I'm all for working smarter, not harder. What kind of tools are we talking about here? Like, give me some examples.
Well, we already touched on, financial management software like QuickBooks and FreshBooks, which can automate a lot of the bookkeeping and accounting tasks, but there's a whole ecosystem of other tools designed to make your life easier.
Give me the rundown. What else can I add to my digital toolbox?
For managing projects and tasks, the article mentions Trello and Asana. These platforms allow you to create, visual boards, to-do lists, and even project timelines to kind of keep everything on track. You can set reminders, assign tasks, and even collaborate with clients or team members all in like one central hub.
So it's like having a virtual project manager keeping everything on track.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing. What about communication? As your side hustle grows, I imagine, keeping up with emails and messages can become a full-time job in itself. How do you manage all of that?
You're not wrong. That's why tools like Slack and Microsoft Teams have become like essential for a lot of gig workers. They provide a centralized platform for communication, file sharing, and even video conferencing.
So it's like having a virtual office where you can connect with clients and collaborators in real time.
Exactly.
That sounds so much more efficient than constantly switching between emails and texts and phone calls.
Yeah, for sure. And then there are marketing and social media tools. If you're looking to, grow your audience and attract new clients, platforms like Buffer or Hootsuite can help you, schedule posts, track engagement, and even analyze your social media performance.
That's a game changer for anyone who's struggled to to keep up with posting consistently on multiple platforms. It's like having a social media manager built right in.
Yeah.
Are there any other marketing tools that can help, level up a side hustle?
The article also mentions email marketing platforms like MailChimp or ConvertKit. Building an email list is still one of the most effective ways to connect with your audience, share valuable content, and promote your services.
So it's about building relationships and nurturing those connections over time. I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. But even with the best tools, it seems like there's still a lot to manage. How do you suggest people, keep it all from becoming overwhelming?
That's where the concept of systematizing your operations comes in. The article emphasizes the importance of documenting your workflows and creating standard operating procedures or SOPs for recurring tasks.
So it's like creating a playbook for your side hustle, so you can replicate success and delegate tasks as you grow.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not harder. By systematizing your operations, you can free up your time and your mental energy to focus on, the big picture strategy and growth of your business.
Okay, so we've got the tools and the systems in place. What other advice does the article offer for scaling a side hustle? Like what are some other key things to keep in mind?
It emphasizes the importance of outsourcing and delegation. As your business grows, you can't do everything yourself. It's wise to identify tasks that can be outsourced to freelancers or virtual assistants.
That makes sense. It's about focusing on your core strengths and letting others handle the tasks that drain your time and energy. Are there any other scaling strategies worth mentioning?
The article also talks about the importance of data-driven decision-making. As you scale, you'll have access to more data about your customers, your marketing efforts, and your overall performance.
Yeah.
Use this data to track your progress, identify areas for improvement, and make informed decisions about your business.
So it's about moving beyond, gut feelings and using data to inform your strategy.
Exactly.
That's a powerful concept. What about the human element as your side hustle grows? How do you manage those relationships and ensure like a positive customer experience?
The article highlights the importance of building a strong team, even if it's just a small group of freelancers or contractors. Surround yourself with people who share your vision, complement your skills, and are passionate about your business.
So it's not just about scaling your operations, it's about scaling your team and building a culture that supports growth.
Exactly.
I love that idea. What about staying motivated and inspired throughout this journey? It seems like it could be a roller coaster ride. How do you stay positive and keep moving forward when things get tough?
That's where the importance of celebrating wins comes in. As you hit milestones and achieve your goals, take the time to acknowledge your progress and reward yourself for your hard work.
That's a great reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and forget to celebrate those wins along the way.
Mhm.
Is there anything else you want to highlight from this article? Any final thoughts or key takeaways for our listeners?
It ends with a powerful reminder that scaling a side hustle is a journey, not a destination. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But with persistence, adaptability, and a willingness to learn and evolve, you can turn your side hustle dreams into a thriving and fulfilling reality.
This has been an incredible deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from exploring different side hustle options to understanding the strategies, the tools, and even the mindsets needed to succeed in the gig economy. What's the one key takeaway you want our listener to walk away with?
The gig economy is empowering. It's a world where individuals can leverage their skills, their creativity, and their entrepreneurial spirit to create their own opportunities. But it's also a world that demands a new set of skills, a willingness to adapt, and a commitment to continuous learning.
So, to our listener out there, what unique value can you bring to the gig economy? What's stopping you from taking that leap? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. And be sure to check out the show notes for links to all the amazing tools and resources we've mentioned today. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep on hustling.